The death of the 7-day delay. 10 production rollups just synchronized their state routes to effectively kill the 7-day withdrawal delay. The cursed hard fork activated 5 days ago across a cluster, including OP Mainnet, Zora, and Sony's Sonium, marking the first time multiple Layer 2s can read each other's state with near-zero latency. This is not a marketing rebrand, it is a structural rewrite of how these chains verify safety. By moving to a shared dependency set, the protocol replaces the old asynchronous bridging model with a synchronous messaging layer. This means an asset on Unichain can be verified as safe on the Inc. network without waiting for an Ethereum L1 settlement. But this speed comes with a massive engineering requirement. Every validator in the cluster must now run opreth to handle the increased verification load of the interop bundle. This transition from isolated silos to a coordinated cluster is anchored by a new token primitive. Inside the mint and burn mechanism, the engineering artifact driving this unified liquidity is the Superchain ERC20 standard, also known as ERC7802. Think of it as a shared permission set rather than a bridge. In the old model, you lock tokens on chain A to receive a wrapped version on chain B. Under ERC7802, the Superchain bridge is granted the authority to literally burn supply on the source chain and mint identical supply on the destination. This eliminates the need for fragmented liquidity pools or third-party market makers to front capital. However, this only works because of a new component called the Op supernode. This supernode tracks every chain in the cluster simultaneously to ensure that an initiating burn event on one chain is physically and cryptographically matched by a mint event on the other before the block is finalized. It is a massive experiment in shared sequencing that forces us to reconsider the definition of a sovereign blockchain. The base paradox. While 10 chains just unified, the largest ecosystem in the OP stack is conspicuously absent. Base, which holds nearly $4 billion in TVL as of last quarter, announced its transition toward a custom unified stack earlier this year. This creates a strategic divergence. While the Optimism Foundation is pushing for a tightly coupled cluster, the most successful chain it ever incubated has chosen sovereignty over synchronicity. By opting out of the native interop cluster, Base effectively becomes a massive liquidity silo, forcing users to continue using legacy third-party bridges to reach the rest of the superchain. This split suggests that the superchain vision is no longer a single monolith, but a fractured landscape of chains that prioritize different trade-offs between cluster-wide efficiency and individual control. The signal under the noise. The karst activation reveals that the real endgame for the superchain is the transformation of dozens of blockchains into a single virtual machine. By leveraging ERC7802 and the Op supernode, the collective is attempting to solve the fragmentation problem that has plagued Ethereum scaling for years. However, this architecture introduces a new category of systemic risk called safety dependence. If one chain in the interoperable set experiences a sequencer failure or a consensus bug, every other chain in its dependency set could see their finalization time stall. This is the structural trade-off. You gain atomic liquidity, but lose the ability to fail in isolation. Economically, the protocol is attempting to glue this mesh together with a pilot program directing 50% of sequencer revenue toward token buybacks. But the technical debt of maintaining a perfectly synchronized cluster is the more pressing story. Watch the performance of the Op supernode over the next quarter. If it can maintain sub-second safety proofs without bottlenecking the network, the multi-chain silo era is officially over. If not, the cluster model may prove too fragile for institutional scale. Subscribe for more